How the world views Russia's invasion of Ukraine is creating divisions between countries and certainly between politicians. Nowhere is that more apparent than in the United States, where the fight for Ukraine has become a major election issue. I'm Mariam Namazi, and you're watching Pinch Point, where politics and geography collide. Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Since then, Ukraine has become the top recipient of US foreign aid. 5 congressional bills have been voted through since the war began to provide Ukraine with aid and weapons. They add up to nearly $175 billion. Most Democrats back supporting Ukraine's ability to defend itself, while many Republicans are questioning whether to offer more aid. The leader of the Republicans is, of course, Donald Trump, presidential hopeful and the man who's repeatedly said that only he can solve the problem.
I will get it solved in rapid order, and it will take me no longer than one day. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours. I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. I know them both. I will get it settled.
But many Ukrainians fear that would mean an incredibly bad deal for them, that Kyiv would be forced to give up forever the land Russia has seized over the past 2.5 years. And as you can see here, that's a lot of land. And they wouldn't have been reassured by Trump's remarks in September's presidential debate either. He sidestepped the question about whether he wants Ukraine to win the war and instead blamed his opponent, Kamala Harris, for the crisis.
That war should have never started. She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelenskyy and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later.
Yet again, I said it at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fellow. And that is another one. When I went to meet with President Zelenskyy, I've now met with him over 5 times. The reality is it has been about standing as America always should, as a leader upholding international rules and norms.
And Kamala Harris had more. She said that if Trump had beaten Joe Biden in the last election, Russia's President Vladimir Putin would now be in the Ukrainian capital Kyiv, that Russia would have already won. Away from the campaigning, the US continues for now to send more weapons to Ukraine. Diplomacy with allies that support Ukraine goes on.
With an expansion of attacks from Russia, pummeling Ukrainian cities, citizens, infrastructure, with monstrous brutality. And now Putin's further empowering his aggression with the acquisition of Iranian ballistic missiles. So, we're working with urgency to continue to ensure that Ukraine has what it needs to effectively defend itself.
That's not to say Ukraine is getting everything it wants. Its military has to work within strict rules about how and where it uses the weapons it's given. But Ukraine's president says he'll fight Russia's troops up until the moment they leave Ukraine for good.
Я хочу сказати зараз усім в світі, хто досі хоче якось там допомагати Путіну. Ми все зробимо не просто для захисту своєї держави і людей, а для реальної консолідації світу заради сильних відповідей на розпалювання війни чи будь-яку спробу війну продовжувати.
Zelenskyy already has a plan for peace, and it centers on him getting his country back, all of it. And that is likely to take more than 24 hours, no matter who becomes the next president of the United States.